Well, hello everyone. Welcome to tonight's live. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry I'm late. I guess we're doing this from the phone and not the computer. The computer hasn't been working for some reason. But we're going to get going here and just talk about journey, talk about if you're doing carnivore, peptides, keto, regular person, how everything's going on your weight loss and your healing journey. If you guys have any questions, if you could put them in the comments, I'd greatly appreciate it. I am going to pull that part up on my computer right now so I can respond to the comments. And yeah, I do have some people pre-submitted some questions, so I'll be sure to um, share those with you guys as well. There's some good stuff in here. Okay, please don't make noise. Okay, perfect. Okay, so to start tonight, this live is brought to you by my telehealth company, joinmochi.com. I'm absolutely loving working with them. It is not a joke. I do price shop. I do shop to look for who could be the most reputable, who could be the best deal for everyone is really what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to be a millionaire off of it by any means. And when you work with Mochi, they give everybody a coupon code, not just me. They give everybody it so we can all save. And I love that. And as people start recognizing, wow, you look so happy. You look so much better. What are you up to? You can tell them, I've been working with Mochi. If you would like to feel better too, here's my discount code. And you save 40, they save 40, we all save 40. So I love that. I love that they've been up for the fight since the very beginning. They knew that this was going to be a battle. They prepared for it. There were some bumps along the way in the battle, being the forefront, the head of it, saying we're going to be the most affordable. We're going to have the most offerings for everybody. We're going to use legitimate providers. We're going to require people to see providers and not just a blanket order online type of situation. So they've been legit from the beginning, and I have loved working with them. I get a lot of good feedback from people. Hey, Rachel, that they love working with them too. I'm currently getting NAD plus from them as well. And if you've looked into that, what is NAD plus? Well, it's something that helps with energy. It's like a fuel for your mitochondria. And we can become depleted over time in it. And that can reduce our energy production. And so I've been getting it from them. And previously I was paying $250 for 1,000 milligrams. And through Mochi in my state, I'm paying $189 for 2,000 milligrams. So amazing pricing, amazing options. They're adding the stuff that they do every single day. And when I think about them, I just think about how for the first time in my life, weight loss became fair since starting to work with them. Prior to that, I'm doing all the things. I am eating nothing but sardines. I am tracking every single day. Managing my weight is a full-time job, and I have to do crazy things. And even working at full time and stressing myself out every single day trying to manage this condition, I was losing. And ever since starting to work with them, it's never been so easy in my life. One of the topics I have on here is just a frustration in the messaging that I've been receiving of people just telling me that, well, gosh, if from the beginning you would have just dieted and exercised, you would have never put yourself into that position. And it's factually inaccurate. It has been disproven. First of all, I've struggled my entire life. So, no, I did not do this to myself. This is something I've been struggling with my whole life. And I did lifestyle. I lifestyled harder than all the skinny people. And to be honest, now that I'm kind of a skinny person, I don't have to lifestyle so hard. I'm lifestyling because it's good for me and I don't want to lose my butt. I am not lifestyling to save my life anymore. I'm not lifestyling so I don't gain 30 pounds. And when your gut is actually speaking, it is so much easier to maintain weight. It is so much easier. So these people who say things like that, it's like you have no idea how privileged you are. You have no idea what we have been through. One person today had the audacity to tell me not to spread my self-limiting beliefs on them, and that if I hadn't had self-limiting beliefs my whole life, that I wouldn't have struggled with obesity. It's not a self-limiting belief. It was reality for me that no matter what I did, if I ate the same as you, I gained 10 pounds, you lost 10 pounds. Like if I worked out 10 times as hard as you, I maintained my weight, you lost weight. That is my reality, and it is not a belief. So anyway, I just find it really annoying. Today was kind of annoying. Okay, so what do we got here on our questions today? If you guys have any questions, please put them in. I'm looking over here to see if I can see any yet. I am so excited for our interview tomorrow. I'm going to be on Target Prime Rib with, I believe it's Jonathan, right? I'm a horrible name person. I'm sorry. I gotta go look because that's bothering me. I have it written down right here. And then no, Thomas. Oh, this is so bad. I'm sorry. This is part of the brain fog that really bothers me. When you care about someone's name and you care about that relationship, and a good example would be we just lost one of my classmates, and it took me, this guy, this friend of ours, he was in band with me for like 3 years. He was in skiing with me for like 3 years. He was in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat with me. And I had to sit there for like a half an hour to try to put a name to the face. And this was a deeply good friend of mine from high school. So I am so sorry that I'm a terrible name person. Okay, anyway, yes, tomorrow I will be going live on Target Prime Rib on YouTube. You guys should come check us out tomorrow. Okay, let's see here. What do we have? So the first one is this really going to work for me? I've tried everything and I'm so tired, but I'm worried about side effects and what people say about it. So this person had written quite a bit of all the things that they'd been doing. They did keto, they did carnivore, they go to the gym 3 times a week, they track their food, they joined the groups, and they had done all these things, and they're just getting exhausted at this point because they're working so hard and not getting results. And they're wondering if it's going to, if adding a GLP-1 could change things for them, or if they should be worried about side effects. So I think we should all be worried about side effects. Even I am. Like, nobody should come in thinking that they are benign to it. It's pretty common for people to have conditions that they don't understand that that's one of the reasons that they're struggling. And one of them can be like your vagal nerve can be inflamed or have issues with it. And when that happens, that's especially popular when you have insulin resistance and obesity and chronic inflammation. So you might not even have either of those conditions, but you have chronic inflammation and your vagal nerve is inflamed and your vagal nerve is struggling to have a good tone and help function things properly. You're more at a risk to start having digestive dysfunction if you find the wrong dose of GLP-1 for your body. So at the right dose for your body, it can actually kind of help the nerve. It can help the digestion. It can help the motility in your body. I'm specifically speaking to tirzepatide and retatrutide here, not semaglutide. Semaglutide just plain slows your digestion down. I don't know that it does a ton other than it reduces inflammation. And so reducing inflammation helps your digestion because it helps. I'm sorry, I'm talking so much. Sometimes I think that I'm an idiot and why would anybody follow me? And then we have moments like this where I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it can really help with that, but at the wrong dose, it can hurt. A good example would be I've had, ever since the gastric bypass, I've had gut motility issues and bioproduction issues, and they went away on GLP-1. They went away on tirzepatide. Then I was playing around with titrating down and spreading out my shots, and it came back pretty bad, but I didn't recognize it because previously I blamed it on a medicine. I was taking chlorostyramine, which is a binder. I wasn't taking chlorostyramine now, though, so why was I having that issue? And the whole time previously, when I was blaming chlorostyramine, it wasn't. It was my digestion. So anyway, at the right dose, this can help your body stimulate good digestion throughout the entire digestive system. Semaglutide, not so much. Tirzepatide works partway through the digestive system, and if you do like a retatrutide, it can help all the way to the end. So the important thing here is to start low and go slow, and also recognize that there are currently 2 medications that are FDA approved, and there are like 126 in testing. And each person who struggles with their weight and their signaling, we aren't all the same at all. And so even if these aren't perfect for you, it helps you lose the weight, but you have some side effects. There are more and better things coming. But anyway, I was worried that it wasn't going to work for me either. I mean, Biggest Loser, gastric bypass, running and restricting, carnivore, nothing worked for me in the long run. it was like holding my breath underwater. It was like, I can hold my breath a really long time because I want to live, but eventually you have to come up for air. And every time I would come up for air, like a wave would capsize over me because of this condition. Ever since starting this, the weight loss was still like weight loss is. It was still a challenge. It still took time, but it was so much more manageable. And then going into maintenance, it was just it's given me my life back. I mean, I had an interview with Dr. Amy Horniman yesterday. It's going to post on her channel in the next few months. And I was thinking about it, I was literally working out. I was walking. So I would walk 2 to 3 hours a day, 5 days a week for a long time. I was doing that. And I was lifting and I was watching podcasts and I was tracking all my food and I was doing food prep. So I was literally working this full time. And now that I'm not, I just kind of go in the kitchen and I eat something. Uh Now and I work out when it works in my schedule 1 to 2 times a week and try to move throughout the day. And I mean, I could probably do more there. We all could, right? But anyway, now that I have more time to just live my life, I'm going back to school to be a doctor. So, but during the thing, there were times when the weight loss on GLP-1, often your weight loss can go like this, and then you have a whoosh, and then this, and then a whoosh. And I Marco Polo'd my best friend Cheryl, and I would just cry to her and I would say, this isn't going to work for me. Nothing ever works for me. Of course, I'll never get to my goal. I want to be like everyone else, but I'm the one nothing ever works for. And you guys, it worked for me. I'm at my goal and I've been maintaining almost a year now. So I absolutely think that this could be game changing for you. Another thing is, if you have gallbladder issues, you had your gallbladder removed, you would want to consider, these can help with some gallbladder, but so can things like bile salts and TUDCA. If you have a gut bacteria issue, you could give it some time because the reduced inflammation it stops the holes in your gut. And when your gut calms down, then the good bacteria can balance out the bad bacteria. And it takes some time, but a lot of people see this and they see that they used to not be able to eat wheat or dairy because they would have massive inflammation, massive gas or pain. And then over time, people have been able to add things like that back because of the gut healing, and you get to keep that. So even if you, for some reason, went off, you get to keep that better gut. And for me, I also did BPC 157. So first I did just GLP and then and I got better. Eventually, I added BPC 157 and a couple rounds of that, and I am a different human. Like I can have garlic and I now. The way I just realized I need to go into silent mode. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh boy. Hopefully I'm not frozen. Okay. So start low, go slow. I think that tirzepatide is significantly more tolerable than semaglutide. So if you can afford that one, I highly suggest it. They say it is twice as effective without as many side effects. And there's something that doctors will say. I've heard this and it just kind of, it's like, I agree. I heard somebody say that what should happen, it's not, you're going to be best served if you go to a place that has physicians that are or nurse practitioners that are certified in this. And I don't always believe in certifications, but in this case, absolutely. Because what we have is doctors going, listen, I got 10 minutes for you. Okay, you're obese and you don't want to, they'll just maybe assume you don't want to exercise or eat healthy or, make their assumptions. Okay, well, we can give this to you. This is the standard dosing, and they'll just kind of slap that on you. And if you don't feel good on the standard dosing, they will just give you more medications for nausea, more tell you to take things for diarrhea. They won't tell you, well, hey, how about we slow the dose down? Maybe you're a mid dose person. Maybe we need to get you some compounding because that's a better fit for a person who doesn't meet the standard dosing. And then some people, I had a friend that her insurance would not cover it if she didn't immediately dose up to 10 milligrams and be at least 10 milligrams going forward. And then I don't know if they were going to keep approving it during maintenance at all. And she got so malnourished that she started blacking out. And that, that was just it. That was the advice that she got. So I highly suggest, working with a place like Join Mochi. or working with these clinics that have certified people in GLP-1 because they can help you so much better with dosing. Another idea for you. I was just talking to a friend who manages all the pharmacists in a health system, and she was explaining to me that pharmacists know drugs. They know drugs way better than doctors do. So if there's any way that you can work with your pharmacist, if you can't get through to your doctor and you're going through allopathic medicine, work with that pharmacist and tell them what's happening, and they can really help you figure out your dose. Pharmacists know drugs. When I was on low dose naltrexone, my doctor had prescribed it, but who I actually worked with on my titration was the compounding pharmacist. And that's the only time in my life I've ever done that. But it's just interesting to find out. Pharmacists are actually pretty amazing and very, very well researched. I thought they were just like counting pills. No, no, no. They are very educated deeply in all the medicines. Okay. Um, where do genetics fit in? Okay, so I'm going to tell you, before I went on GLP-1, there were two things that terrified me. One was when I heard that they wanted to put kids on this. And I was like, "Whoa, wait a second. Why don't we try carnivore first? Why don't we get them in soccer first? Why don't we this? Why don't we that?" And the other thing that was just annoying was you would go in and they would blame anything that you had on genetics. Well, this is just genetics and there's nothing you can do about it, so take this pill. That used to annoy the crap out of me. But when I started this, coming from the carnivore community, the first thing that bothered me is, why is this happening? I understand people are having GLP-1 and digestive hormone signaling issues, but why is this happening? And one of the things I found in my research is epigenetic changes that are being passed. And I believe it's our exposures. I couldn't tell you what the exposures are. I have my conspiracy theories and my tinfoil hats about what it is. But you can see in just 3 generations how bad it's gotten, and that this is, in my case, is being passed down. Are there cases where you expose yourself to something throughout life and then eventually your body deteriorates? Sure. But there is also people like me who were literally born this way, and who maybe got it from my dad, and then I passed it on to 2 of my kids. And it doesn't matter what you throw at me or these people or my kids, we struggle. We can eat the same food. But here's the thing, even eating the same food, our body isn't handling it the same. We are inappropriately storing fat. We are not appropriately getting energy and brain power. And we have unnatural food noise. It's not natural to be hungry 15 minutes after you eat. That is not natural. If you ate some whole foods, you ate something nice and heavy and filling, hopefully a bunch of steak or meat or something, it's not natural to have this. So unfortunately, I do think that there is a genetic piece in here, not to say it stemmed from my ancestors, but to say it stemmed from an exposure of my dad or my grandpa. And then maybe the exposure continued. And so the condition seems to be multiplying. Like, the kids these days in high school are so much more overweight than the kids were when I was in high school. I was 165, 170 in high school. I was the one of the biggest kids in my class. These days, I think that would be almost considered skinny or just average. It wouldn't be like, "Whoa, there's the whale walking down the hall," like it was when I was growing up, which is so sad to say. But so this is where I want to become a doctor or a researcher or something and be part of the picture here of bringing the pieces together so we stop this, so that it doesn't continue, so that my kids, hopefully we can heal them, and then their kids don't have the same problem, or their kids. I mean, when you look at the cats, Pottinger's cats, it took 3 generations for them to become infertile and have liver issues and detoxing issues. And I want to say it took at least 3 generations of fixing everything and the cats to become healthy again. So unfortunately, I think this is going to take a while to fix. Okay, I got some messages about how I just need more willpower, and the people I work with just need more willpower. And none of you guys are the people that sent that, but I just want to say, you don't tell people with Alzheimer's to just willpower their way out of it. You don't tell someone with Down syndrome just willpower your way out to not have Down syndrome. You don't tell someone with Parkinson's get some more willpower. And I'm hoping also, as having this channel, as maybe becoming a doctor, be able to spread the message that you guys are wrong, and it's time that we change the messaging and recognize what's really going on here. I'm just going to put this out in the world. This summer, it hit my heart. I went to the Montana meetup, and on the way back, this vision came to me of realizing and recognizing that there are 500, 600-pound people. There are. And it's not as rare as you think it is. It's just that they can't leave their home. And the part that is so devastating to me is knowing that they aren't getting help. They're being told that they ate too much and that they're lazy and gluttonous, and that if they could just start starving themselves and walking more, that this problem wouldn't exist. And that's so horrifyingly disgusting and wrong. The truth is that if you are able to get to even a level of obesity, let alone, extra obesity like that, there is something significantly metabolically off. And I don't know, I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if you guys know of any programs that actually help these people other than just telling them that they need surgery to gastric bypass, which isn't going to work in the long run. It could cause more issues. Is there such a thing as like a home they could go to where an actual hormone doctor would see them, an enzyme doctor would see them, a gut health doctor would see them, a neurologist would see them to see like what's going on with the brain and why isn't the signaling happening, and an endocrinologist that's actually good. By the way, endocrinologists go to school for a very, 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 very long time. I found out because that was one of the first thoughts was maybe I should go into endocrinology. So endocrinologists don't seem to understand a lot of what's going on, but I will tell you they're highly educated and they did a lot of school and it was very competitive to get to where they are. Just want to throw that out there. It's a little accolade, but a place where these people could actually get help and save their lives instead of what I believe is happening, which is a slow, lonely death full of shame. Instead of recognizing you are a human being with a very, very severe condition, and it's multitude of conditions, which is why we need the hormones and we need the thyroid and we need enzymes, we need gut health and we need brain health, and we need all those things checked by like truly scientists, like Mayo Clinic level scientists need to be in on this to find out what's off in them and help them so that we can save their lives instead of just letting them die a slow, miserable, lonely life. And so I called a friend of mine and I was like, I don't know how we can make this happen. I'm just a coach. So I don't know how I could help in this, but it has to happen. Like, we can't keep letting people live like that and die like that. It's not fair and it's not right. And it's horrible. And so maybe when I become a doctor, that could be a project that I could figure out how to get it funded, because when you're struggling that much with your health, there's no way you can be working productively. And the diet in that case is not the problem. It is the body's extreme inflammation, its inability um, to uh, to flow the fluids properly. What's it called? The lymphatic system. It's a hormone issue. It's an enzyme. It's a lot of magnified issues that could just really need some love. So anyway, okay, let's see here what we have. I'm working early tomorrow. I just want to say hello. I read that one. True, true. Hello from a carnivore gal. Just got in. Pleasure to find you. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Adrian, and all who are here. Hi, Shannon. And hello, Shannon. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, please put them in there. I'm happy to read them and we can chit chat. And I was hoping you lost 25 pounds. Woo! Way to go. That's amazing. I hope it feels good and your thyroid is working again. When I was talking to Dr. Amy, I don't remember how I brought this up, but in our group, yes, GLP-1 is great. Yes, peptides are wonderful. Yes, some of the nootropics and the different things we use to heal our mitochondria are amazing. But it's still, you need to get your hormones and your thyroid checked by someone's good. Someone who's like really, really good, deeply educated in the current science, not the old science. That's typically what you would get when you go to the doctor's office, but the current science on how can we get people to feel better and what numbers are causing the symptoms that you're having. So I personally work with Emily at Elevate Health and Hormones, and she's amazing. And at a minimum, you can email info at Elevate Health and Hormones. I have it down below. If you tell her I sent you, you can get your labs, have her review them, and you save $100 if you tell her I sent you. Then you have the data and you have the validation too of, oh, this makes so much sense. Okay. Okay, this makes so much sense why I'm having these symptoms. These numbers need to improve, and she can help you improve them. We also have Dr. Amy Horniman. She has the thyroid fixer, huge. She's got a big practice as well, highly educated. She's the queen of hormones and thyroid. And I would say Emily's right up there. So we had one group member, and she only had 25 pounds to go because she'd really been carnivoring for like 10 years. She'd really been very adherent to her diet and for health issues and she'd been very adherent to moving her body, and she was able to get to a place, but she still wasn't comfortable, and she still had a lot of, 25 pounds is actually a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight that you just lost. And so she's dosing up and she's like not feeling anything when she's taking the medicine. It was so weird because she's not obese. She's on the higher end of overweight. And so she gets up to 10 milligrams, still not feeling anything and still no weight loss. She got her hormones and thyroid optimized. Well, got to goal in just a few months. All the peptides started working. She started getting better sleep, started feeling better. And she's been able to completely dose down, way down now that she's got the hormones and the thyroid. So it's a really big piece here, and it really can't be ignored. However, I do understand that we can't throw the kitchen sink at things. We got to do one thing at a time. So if you want to try GLP-1 first and see if it works, great. It works for a lot of people. And it can actually, because of the reduced inflammation and the better hormone signaling, it can actually improve your hormone and thyroid on its own. It can also help improve kidney numbers. It can help improve a lot of different things, your visceral fat. But if it's not enough and you're just not seeing it, it is time to go get your hormones and thyroid checked. And most likely not by your local doctor, because they have a standard of care that runs vague labs, as you guys probably know, and it doesn't run the full panel. And if you do run the full panel, then they want you to go to endocrinology. And many of us have gone to endocrinology and said, I am so symptomatic. What is going on? Antibodies through the roof. And they're like, listen, you got some antibodies, Hashimoto's, come back when you don't have a thyroid, is what I was told. So work with someone good, work with someone knowledgeable. We have a lot of great telepractices that work in all 50 states now, and make sure to have that on your list. Okay. You're 60? Amazing. See? Okay. All my friends are 60. And in fact, I have two friends this week. One is in her 50s, one is in her 60s that are retiring this week. And I asked them, do you guys think I should go back to school to be a doctor? I'm not going to graduate until I'm 51, 52. I'll be done with residency I'd graduate in my late 40s, but I would be and attending in my early 50s. And many of my friends were like, listen, life's just getting started. And being that I'm currently 41, I don't think we're going to retire until 75 anyway. So it gives me a good 20, 25 years at least, probably, to work. 60 is young. 60 is the new 40. That's what I think, because all my friends are 60. And I got to say, a lot of my friends have a whole lot less wrinkles than I do, honest to goodness. And then my friend Anne, she just turned 67 and she has way bigger muscles than I do. She is so fit and doing so good. And it's not because life is just easy for her. She has some genetic conditions that are pretty tough. She doesn't let it get her down. She works out, she gets her steps in, she gets her protein in. Her and her husband are on it. I love her husband. He's great. He's there with her. Do GLP-1 need to be for life as maintenance? Okay, so this is another thing that really bothered me about GLP-1 from the very beginning, which is, well, we have a deficiency, but like, how do we fix the deficiency? And I'm sure someone out there knows how. I'm sure of it. And I've actually seen Dave on the pen he's had him on there twice, and I forget what his name was. It's right on the tip of my tongue, but it's like a Indian name from India. Anyway, this doctor, he's like really high up doctor. He has a practice, and they found actual gut lining damage, and that if they go through, so non-invasive, like they're not going through your skin, they're going through your mouth or through your, they're going one direction into your digestive system and putting a laser on the damaged spots. It helps your body, it pushes your body to repair that spot and can restore your GLP-1 function, which essentially, I believe, if I remember the podcast correctly, actually ends type 2 diabetes. So there's stuff coming. But in the meantime, it depends. If you started struggling because of a situation like menopause, and you can get your body to start speaking again, and it wasn't chronic your whole life, I really think you could use this as a tool to get your body speaking again and to get back to a set point that's healthy for your body. You get back there, you stay there for a while, you let your body say, okay, I am safe here. I am nourished here. I am healthy here. So that requires you to take breaks from your calorie deficit. It requires you to nourish yourself. It requires you to ensure you have muscle. So getting off this medicine, it absolutely requires weightlifting. If you come off this medicine and you lost all your muscle, your metabolism's in the tank, you will gain this weight back. I don't care if you came on because you had menopause. It will come back because you're at a way lower metabolic rate because you put your body into starvation and you got rid of your muscle. So to get off, you have to build your muscle. You have to nourish your body. You have to tell your body it's safe. I think if you just think of this logically, this is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor. Get your body to a new set point and let your body recognize the set point as being a safe place to be, a healthy place to be. And after some time, Dr. Tina had said 6 to 12 months of maintaining that healthy place, you could attempt, even before then, you could attempt trying to titrate down or spreading out shots and seeing if you can come off. There's other tools out there that are going to be amazing for people. Like we have oral GLP-1 coming out, the oral semaglutides coming out. We have orforglipron coming. And then we have CaloCurb, which is a like kind of, I think it's a more natural supplement that helps with appetite. Trying to think of what else we have. There are tools that could potentially work. Now, when Adrian tried to come off of it, my digestive issues came back because I have my nerve and like probably because of the gastric bypass, my nerve endings aren't working and it's causing parts of my digestion to be fast, part to be slow. Apparently it's rare, but it's not uncommon. I have interception where the fast part and the slow part are hitting each other and the intestines telescoping into itself. Then I have the blood sugar issues. And if I wasn't on my phone, I would show you guys when I went off GLP-1, I went right back to the hell that I came from, which is up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And during carnivore, I didn't have up downs during the day, but I had terrible sleep, terrible stress responses. My brain and my hormones went into the tank, which wasn't helping the stress on my body, which wasn't. The up, down is such a stressor on the body that unless I get this reversed, which that was one of the questions in here was about my reversal. It's looking like I'll probably be on this for life. Also, I've struggled with weight since I was a child, and it's not because we were just such junk foody people. It's because I have this genetic thing. A friend of mine who didn't like that I stood up for this. I feel like she's a friend, and I really admire the work she does. I think she's beautiful and wonderful and hilarious. I hope we can still be friends. She is skinny. She had 3 kids. She's never been obese a day in her life. And she came up with a paper that said that she is 97% obesity genes and that thank God for her good lifestyle because that saved her. No, no. If you've never been obese a day in your life, you don't have obesity. So, anyway, it depends on your situation. I believe there are many situations where people will be able to titrate down because of the other tools we have. And because if you build that muscle and you build that metabolism, you make sure to nourish your body. I believe that it could be possible. You have been carnivore for 6 months. It's been a miracle. Amazing. Carnivore for me was absolutely life changing for at least a year. And then when I started having symptoms on carnivore, I checked out everything else. I thought it could have been the other things that were going on in life. It could have been the mold. It could be autoimmune illness. It could be my gastric bypass. I blamed everything else. We finally moved into a mold-free house. and kind of stripped away the obesity. We're having better blood sugar regulation, and that's still there. And I realized, and some doctors had talked to me that were very holistic and functional and not anti-carnivore, that some people who have conditions like me, it's not the most optimal diet in the long run. So because of my blood sugar, I still have to dip in periods of that. It's just going to be part of my life. Like tonight, I had burger patties that had cheese and bacon mixed in, and I put cream cheese on top, and that was my dinner. For lunch, I don't remember. But anyway, I'm eating a lot of meat, and there's a lot of periods of carnivore. There's no doubt once you try it and you can feel what it feels like, it's really hard to be negative, like, because it does feel good. It feels amazing. You feel so much more in control and you feel so much more nourished. And I think it's really good for your nervous system. I know it can be a stressor on your body in some cases, but it can also just be such a calming on your nervous system when your body doesn't process carbohydrates very well, and that's affecting your brain, and it's affecting your inflammation, it's affecting your digestion, it's affecting your gut biome. Yeah, so it does feel good. So congratulations on 6 months. I'm sorry for, I don't know if I told you guys about tesofensine. I think I tell you guys about it yesterday for Dr. Amy Horniman. I wanted to make sure that I had my words and that there was no chance that it could end up being a foggy day. So I took 250 micrograms of tesofensine from BioLongevity. Not going to say the rest of that. They put additives in there that even if you take 125, it's so effective. And yesterday I took 250 and I can really feel it right now. So I'm sorry if I'm a bit jibber jabbery. Okay. Can we combine BPC with CJC? I don't know why you couldn't. I'd have to look it up. Is there a reason you're worried about it? I feel like they're totally separate things. So I don't know why they would interact with each other. And that they could be really good. You're reducing your inflammation and healing. Meanwhile, you're boosting up a subset of your human growth hormone, right? Okay, 75. No, I'm 61 and 62 in June. I plan to retire from my day job. Congratulations. Oh, that's such a blessing to get to retire at 62. That's amazing. I'm sure you're probably looking at all your friends who retired at 55 going, "Why am I still working?" I don't know if you have friends that retired at 55, but my dad just turned 63. Now he had me when he was a baby, okay? And he's still working, but he's like half retired and trying to step away from the business that they own. I'm 68 and soon to be 69, went back to school at 47 and never had any regrets. Thank you, Shelby. That's amazing. I love that. I've heard that obviously I have to put the work in. And to be honest, I have an uphill battle. My undergrad GPA was horrible. It was a 2.4. I think my cumulative undergrad was a 2.45. And I have a lot of credits, a lot of like 200 credits or something. And so fixing my cumulative GPA will be nearly impossible. However, my understanding is that if I can get an amazing science GPA, that they can look at that as an upward trend. They can understand that other GPA was 20 years ago. I have proven I can academically hack this and that I was meant for this. I also have to get a good MCAT. I am going to start working at a hospice here in a little bit because to apply, you have to have patient interaction. And that seemed like a place that I could put my heart and really serve people who really need to be served and get that patient and family interaction. You are never too old. I'm 53 and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I love it. That's great. Yeah, I love it. Exactly. I have a friend she was married and she'd been with her husband since she was 16. Maybe you guys know who she is. And it's a whole story that I'm not going to tell. She tells it on Instagram all the time, but essentially her marriage wasn't what she thought it was, and he depleted all of their bank accounts. He took out $50,000 in credit card. He wasn't working since like 2021, and he said he was, and he was traveling around the country with his girlfriends and spending their retirement, their mortgage, all of the equity that they had, their credit cards, their child's college fund. And she is 51 and starting over. But this is why I love her so much. She has faith in God that she will be okay and that things will be restored and life will be okay. And so I just think it's never too late to go. It's a big thing right now, actually, when you retire to go back to college. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. Um, Having to update my phone with all the apps. Now, our community is in an app called Kajabi, and it used to be in Kajabi Communities. It moved to Kajabi. And I'm sorry, as a person who struggles with brain fog, I'm sorry, it's yet another app. But Kajabi's kind of cool because you can have your website, your communities, and I have multiple communities. You can have your storefront, your email, your newsletter, your Zoom, everything is all in one platform. And I don't know if you guys know, but usually those are all separate things that you have to figure out how to integrate them together. And you're paying a subscription for all those separate things. So Kajabi is pretty cool. And once you get to know our community and how to navigate it, it's pretty cool. So we'd love to have you guys there. If anybody just likes to chit chat like this, you should join our private community. We have 8 calls. And in our calls, if you want to turn your camera on, you can. It's not a stare at Adrian and listen to Adrian talk thing. It's a if you want to join in, and most people do. Most people turn their cameras on, check in with us, let us know, any victories, any challenges, any experiments they're doing. It's just great. And if you use code Radical Beginning at checkout on the monthly, it gives you 50% off your first month, and that is good through January 31st, 2026, in case anybody watches this later. Radical Beginning, come join us. Anybody who's part of our group, you also get discounted 101s, like way discounted, like half price or something crazy. And we have the best people in our group, and people are sharing things, and people are all different areas. Some people are brand new on their journey. Some people, as far as adding GLP-1, most people have been trying to do things for decades. So they're not like brand new to weight loss. They're brand new to this next experiment in life. And some people have been maintaining, they're working on maintenance, and they're working on brain health, and they're working on their nervous system, and they're working on their sleep. They're working on other things in our group besides just weight loss because they finally got it. We have one group member, and she said, I can't believe it. I hit my goal, and it's taken 45 years. But she's been with us for a year, and she hit her goal. And it took 45 years, and she's a very consistent person. I knew her from all the groups that I had been in, and she was there every week at those groups doing the things, coming to the meetups, and just never getting the needle to move until she got those digestive hormones speaking. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Hi, Lewis. Oh, thank you for popping in. I'm so glad you're here. Do I still suggest the carnivore diet and a GLP-1? So it depends on where you're coming from. So now I have actually quite a bit of people who come right from my town. They are not carnivore. They don't even know what that is. They're not interested in it. They'll ask because they want to be successful in this new phase of life. But so I have different people that I'm working with now. But I'd say most people are coming from the carnivore community. And if you're coming from the carnivore community, my suggestion is to keep doing what makes you comfortable. There's so many reasons why it's such an amazing combination with GLP-1, in my opinion. And I know some people out there will disagree, and I don't care because I know what my experience was and I know what's happening in my group. My group I'm not doing DEXs on them, so I can't tell you that they're not losing muscle, but some people look pretty freaking buff in my group. My people are lifting weights. If they divert off plan, they talk about it and how it made them feel, if they learned any lessons. And if they were successful at adding things back, we have people that way too. But I suggest in weight loss, if you're already carnivore, I think that GLP-1 helps you stay carnivore. the only problem, it helps you stay on a lower dose. You're going to struggle on standard dosing, I think, most likely on carnivore diet, because the meat is so dense and so filling that if you're too high of a dose and you're slowing your digestion down unnaturally, you're going to struggle. You're not going to feel good digesting that food. So we're more likely to stay on a lower dose, which means saving money and not building up tolerance and not escalating up too high. You're more likely to meet your protein goals, obviously, because we're eating nothing but protein. You're less likely to divert off the plan because you're avoiding foods that were already triggering to you. And also, those foods that are triggering to you really kind of push you to get a higher dose so that you can manage them. Meat is pretty easy to manage. And for me, there were periods towards before I started GLP-1 where I wasn't managing meat very well, but when you add a GLP-1, you can manage meat so well. So I really suggest it. And it just helps you stay on plan. It ensures you're getting your nourishment in and you get the community with it. The community is 10 out of 10. Carnivore community. Love the people. It's the best. So that'd be my suggestion there. If you're not carnivore, I would start with what you're currently doing. I would start with what you are comfortable eating, because if you make a big, huge, drastic change, I don't even care if it's a healthy one, you're more likely to have an issue about 3 months in where your body kind of freaks out because of the big change. It may not be as sustainable for you. So I like to just ask people, where are you now? And what little tweak could we make now that would be healthier? Like, can we move closer to whole foods? Because that is ultimately the best for you. And I just want to ensure you may not be carnivore, but are you getting your protein in, and like real protein? And we do have people who take maybe too much and then they lean in on cottage cheese, yogurt, protein shakes, built bars, because that's what they can get through their gut. And that's fine, but it's not optimal because you're not getting all the amino acids that your body needs, and you're not getting the good heme iron, and you're not getting all the vitamins and minerals that come with that meat. So I would just check and make sure you're eating meat in general. We're not just eating the supplements that are not full spectrum, and that we're doing something that's sustainable for you. Now, if what you're doing, you're getting your meat in, but you're also still eating macaroni and cheese and chips, and the food noise is so loud and you're not losing any weight, that's when we need to look and see, do we need to make bigger tweaks to give you some peace and to ensure that you're going to be successful on this journey. I'm here for the I have lots of peptide questions. Okay, good. And yes, carnivore gang is in the house. Hey, one of my questions here is, what carnivore or what meetups do I have coming up? And I have some that you may not know about. Looks like my internet's slowing down. Hopefully it's not. Okay, so one, and I don't know if this might be breaking news. I don't know if people are talking about this yet, but the first one is the Karen Miles. I call it the Karen Miles meetup. It's in Naperville, and it is June 6th in Naperville, however you say it. Often, the people who are traveling will come in on Friday, and if that's you, just reach out. And we often have some Friday activities. Then Saturday we go and we take a hike, and then we go to the smokehouse. And then if you want to buy lunch, you buy your lunch. If not, come hang out. Karen does an amazing job of getting donations, and so there's always like drawings and everybody goes home with something. It's pretty family friendly. Both Jenny Middich and I maybe one other person brought our kids last year. It's just a really fun meetup, and it's affordable. That's the thing. That's Not only is it really quaint and loving and great people, but it's affordable, and that's amazing. Okay, next, Meat Stock is in May, and I didn't write the dates down. But Meat Stock Convention, now if you want to stay at the cabin retreat, which I highly recommend, I'm staying at the cabin retreat. That includes the VIP dinners and just these really, really beautiful rooms and shuttles to everywhere we go, and the food. And this year we have Ashley and Brett are doing the cooking. It is going to be good. I've been to many Ashley and Brett dinners, and they are perfect. At the Montana meetup, they cooked like it was either 60 or 100 tomahawks absolutely perfectly. I mean, they are so good. So the food, my mouth is already watering. It's going to be amazing. But if you just want to come to the conference for the weekend, there's also conference tickets. Now, if you go to the website, I think that the retreat says it's sold out, but people are there's actually rooms available. What people did was they didn't want to miss out because it was selling out quick, so they bought a room. But then something came up, a family thing came up, school, whatever came up, and so there are some retreat tickets available. If you use code radically healthy at checkout, you save $50. You guys, it's going to be the best meetup of the year. And it's going to be a different twist. You know, we got Callie Means. We've got, I can't think, you know, Ken Berry, Maria Emmerich, Kelly Hogan. I can't think. Is Ben Bickman going to be there? Like crazy names are going to be there. And people also outside the carnivore community. So like some really big names are going to be there. And then you got yours truly. And I'm speaking on 2 panels. So definitely meat stock is a good one. Then I just heard about one and I don't know if I should tell you, but I'm going to tell you, okay? It's in a place called Schaumburg, which I'm going to guess is near Chicago. And it's going to be Monday, April 13th, 5 p.m. dinner, 7 p.m. movie, The Cholesterol Code. And it's going to be a fundraiser. So the 5 p.m. dinner is going to be at a Brazilian steakhouse and tickets to come. So if you need information on that, I'm sure I will share it once I get it. I'm not 100% sure if I can go, but if there's anything I can do, I'll be there. I don't know. Class goes until noon, and I have to look at how long the drive is to see if I can make it there by 5. I don't know. I think it's a 7-hour drive. Anyway, that one looks cool. Okay, lots of people asked, did the Biggest Losers gain their weight back? Yes. And let's just think about this. Let's say I didn't meet every single person. Not every single person has checked in with Adrienne to tell them whether or not they gained the weight back. Let's just look at every crash diet causes metabolic adaptation. Every single one. And this was the king of all crash diets that ever happened, ever. I mean, we're talking like starvation mixed with nonstop marathon walking, nonstop for like 6 months. Like the filming was super long. And what I was telling Amy, Dr. Amy, about this, what's so actually impressive is how many of us have done hardcore weight loss and could never get to our weight loss goal. And every season, someone would, you know, the women would get down to 118, 130 on these crash diets. Like, kind of defies metabolism. It defies our biology. But anyway, so we do these crashes. Most people said when they went home, like literally within a week, they gained 20 to 30 pounds just hydrating themselves. But then many people struggled. I know some people were absolutely amazing. They would do things like coaching and they started their own practices or gyms so that they were in the gym every day for their job. And even making the gym their job, they gained the weight back. Now, like a year ago, Jillian Michaels did a thing. It said, "Where are they now?" And it was all about how 35% of her contestants had, or 65 had kept their weight off. It was, I don't remember what the number was. Whatever it was a lie. Truth bomb right here. And they had some contestants on there, and I was looking, and I'm like, wow, I followed those people for a year. Their faces are looking extra thin. Like, where did all the inflammation that they've had their whole life go? And they never mentioned GLP. They just said, yep, the stuff at Biggest Loser, it changed our life, and we just kept at it, and we've been able to keep our weight off. No mention whatsoever of GLP-1. And throughout time, those people have come, and some of them have said, oh, yeah, I've been taking GLP-1 for years. Really? Why didn't you mention that instead of just giving all the accolades to the Biggest Loser and to Jillian? Anyway, so yeah, unfortunately. But many of them have found some success in GLP-1, some have not. And it just goes to show we had a cast of people who had the biggest metabolic syndromes in the world. I mean, just a wide range of some of the worst metabolic conditions. And so they're going to need some of the newer medications. The current ones aren't the ticket for everyone. So if it doesn't work for you, which 95% it will, but if you're part of the 5%, please know more is coming. And this, it doesn't mean that you're a failure, you lack willpower. This isn't like this is just like the previous, okay? It means we didn't find the way to get rid of biology to communicate yet. but it's going to come. Okay. Let's see here. What else did you guys ask? Let's see if we have one in here. GLP-1 plus SAD is not a good combo. I agree on processed foods. And I also agree that if you're sitting on your butt, and I also agree if you're combining it with loads of alcohol. But if you're eating, let's say, a variety, and now your body can handle, and you're eating plenty of protein, now your body should be able to handle that fuel a lot better. I'm not saying it's perfect. Do I wish people were more paleo? I think that's probably a more natural diet is paleo. I don't really know. Doesn't have dairy, does it? I just think we should be eating whole meat heavy, whole foods is what we all need to aim for in my person, I think. Hi, Lewis, 14/14 of May. Oh, thank you. Is it the 14th of May? I'm interested. Me too. I'm interested to see the cost of the new multi-dose vials from Lilly. My concern there is that they're going to say, and I don't know how this is going to work. My concern is when they release the multi-dose vials. So this is a vial with multiple doses in it. Are they then going to say that you can now prescribe non-standard dosing? And I don't think that's going to happen because that's not what their FDA approval is for. Their FDA approval is for their set 2.55, blah, 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 blah. My concern is this an attempt to knock out compounding? I don't know. I don't know if you guys heard, but Empower had sued. They had sued Eli Lilly for their patent, saying that they didn't deserve their patent. I was like, yes, go Empower. The case was thrown out. No judges would listen to it, or no directors or no people would listen to the patent case, which is like, rah, rah. Around the world, they have lost in other countries that they shouldn't be able to patent a peptide and that they weren't the original people or the original company to come up with it. It's not unique to them. Let's see here. What else did we have? So I'm interested to see what the price will be there as well. There was a question in here on the other peptides and what's going on with that. Most websites are creating it so you have to create a login. So you won't just be able to go to a store and shop around. You got to create a login, be a customer. It's behind, they're just putting in a barrier or a wall to try to, there's still peptides we haven't seen come back, like SS31, and I love SS31. I have seen it in some of the Temu stores. I haven't seen it in the American stores. They can say that silently by not requiring people to refill every 45 days if they get rid of that. Okay, so what Luce is saying, currently, if you use the cash pay, you can dose up, and there's a price for each dose up. But unlike other ways that we get peptides, if you dose up, you can't just spread that out over 2 months. If you don't refill every 45 days, they charge you like permanently a higher price. So you have to refill every 45 days. If they got rid of that rule, then technically people could spread their vials out. 2 weeks on tirzepatide for the first time. Only thing I seem to want to eat is green veggies, blueberries, and meat. Nothing else is calling to me. That sounds pretty amazing to me. That sounds pretty amazing. I'm pretty obsessed with, and I don't think I have it here because I've been eating them all, and I hope my husband got me more. These, the pink can from Trader Joe's, it's salmon in extra virgin olive oil. And I know the olive oil might be cut. And I know that the salmon is farm raised. So it's not perfect, okay? But it is so good. It's so good. And I'm going to eat some after this call, actually, because it helps me with blood sugar regulation throughout the night. It's nice and filling. It's so tasty. It's just so good. That's what I've been obsessed with for a couple weeks. Well, 2 weeks. Well, congratulations and good luck on your journey. I'm glad one of the questions on here was, is tirzepatide better than semaglutide? And they use the name brand names, but I'm going to try not to say them because I think that can get my video flagged, I guess. Is tirzepatide better than semaglutide? Honest to goodness, it is. Semaglutide is just one digestive hormone, and it's pretty heavy on that digestive hormone, which is why people can have side effects. Because, in our body, we have like a full spectrum of hormones that all work together. And often people aren't just struggling with one of the hormones, they're often just struggling with more. Also, that one hormone, GLP-1, slows the digestion down, which might help us with appetite. But if people have vagal nerve issues, if they take too high of a dose, that can absolutely cause temporary digestive issues. So taking tirzepatide, where there are two hormones that we're now trying to stimulate appropriate um, secretion and signaling, it just is more medicinal. And I haven't personally tried semaglutide, but people say that tirzepatide has more of a head help. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Have you guys tried them both? Which one did you like better? Because some people who started on semaglutide, they go to tirzepatide and they're like, I don't like it. I liked the nausea. That helped me not eat. They liked the gastro. They liked the strong gastro. Um, and, in tirzepatide, it's just a little bit more silent, the food noise. It's like you just don't think about it as much, and it's not as much gastro. So it's twice as medicinal in regulating your glucose, reducing your inflammation, signaling proper digestion. Um, they say that it has twice as good of results. I don't know if twice as good is the right number, but people do generally have better results. I want to say in the trials, 95% of people lost at least 15%. If there's a picture on my phone, I wish I could pull it up. If they dosed up on tirzepatide, where it was like 35% with semaglutide. So really high percentage of people were able to succeed on tirzepatide, and not like significantly less people were as successful on semaglutide. Now, if semaglutide is what you can afford, semaglutide it is. And it's not like the right dose for your body. You don't have to have side effects. If you're having side effects, talk to your doctor about split dosing, where instead of taking it all at one time, you break it into 3 or 5 doses, whatever makes you feel the best. Lowering the dose, working on the gut health, maybe adding some of those digestive supplements in there, digestive aids to help you along the way, like the HCl, the bile salts and stuff like that. But yeah, okay, let's see here. Oh my gosh, Christy, I was just thinking of you and I miss you so much. As I was setting this up, I saw Linus Lifestyle Live in there and I was like, I wish we could do some more shows. I miss those girls. I miss you. I hope you're having a good night. Let's see here. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, I might just check and see if I do have more things over here, like a whole list of things. But it's already been over an hour and you probably don't want to hang out with me all night long. Some big things coming up over here. Dr. Amy Hornman interview will post in the next couple months. I'm going to be filming with Dr. Jen Flagard. She is the author of the Perimenopause Reset, which I have right here somewhere. Right here. The Perimenopause Reset. And she's pretty amazing. And she's the one I was talking to her about. At first I was going to become a nurse practitioner, because nurse practitioners can diagnose and prescribe. And talking to her, she was like, listen, it's going to take about the same amount of time. Why don't you get this separate set of training that really much more helps you with a specific specialty, where nurse practitioners can be great across the board. When you become a physician, they really give you on-the-job training in a specialty. So the training and the education is going to align more with what I want to do. She's the one that was like, be a doctor. So I absolutely love her. And she's doing so much great work out there. If you don't follow her, it's the Integrative Mom, I think, on Instagram. But she's just amazing. I got to meet her. We were talking before Hack Your Health, but I got to meet her at Hack Your Health, and she's so pretty. She's pretty amazing. She is a doctor of internal medicine. And then she did a fellowship, I think is what it's called, to be an ER doctor. So she has 2 specialties. And then she further went on to be a functional medicine doctor, I think. She's amazing. Let's see here. What else do I have coming up? I'm going to be on tomorrow, Target Prime Rib. And I know there's more coming up. I'm going to have Scott from Meat Stock come on and talk about the conference he has coming up. And I think that's about it, you guys. So, well, thank you guys for popping in tonight. We're going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do this once a week now that I'm in school and be more consistent with it and just hang out with you guys. If you ever need anything, my phone number is. I'm just kidding. I'm really bad. The best thing, honestly, is email. Adrian@radicallyhealthy.com. That's the only place that I am managing really well. The rest of the places I'm not managing so well these days. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great night. I hope that your journeys go well and you have peace around food, around your body, around your weight, around your health this week. And we will talk to you guys and see you guys later. Goodbye.